Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish off the Zords tonight. Yeah, of course you're not recording audio. You always record the audio. My camera's being weird. So, let's start off with the Mystic Dragon. Interesting box. I don't know why they have him flying through a city, though. That just looks weird. Jake. That. This guy can go screw himself. It's the same things on top. And it comes with the useless green figure, which I never took out. So before we do anything, blink, let's talk about the key we got. This is, I'm not even going to bother zooming in. It doesn't really help much now that I look at it. Probably just a little bit. Okay, that's good. This is the Mystic Red key we got. This is the Mystic Red key that came with the key pack. Obvious thing is the little neck piece is lower on the Zord one than it is on the key pack one. Other than that, they're basically the same. The visor sculpt isn't any better. The only difference is where the thing is on his chest, for some reason. Trying to flip him open, he won't flip open. Trying to think. Key pack, Zord. The M on the Megazord one is a lot darker too, for some reason. That's really odd that they can't even get the sticker consistency right. But this is the Zord, this is the key pack. You can tell the M is a lot darker on this one. But they're the exact same key nonetheless. So, I still don't know how the heck they managed to screw up his visor like that. Oh well. So here's the Mystic Dragon himself. His little feet. He's derpy looking, I'll say, to say the least. Just take it in for yourself. He does have a slot on his back to where he can jam red in here, and it just makes like, it's finicky, but it's better than nothing, I guess. That's about as good as you're gonna get with him. I mean, as an actual Zord, he's probably the worst of the four easily. But it's when you get to the Megazords when things get interesting. So how you take this thing apart is basically pop these off of him, bend that, like so. Pop this, bend that. And just run down my keyboard, why don't you? Pop these off, and these are two separate things. These are his wings. And now you're left with this terrible looking stubby dragon thing. Take your Megazord. Because I like doing it like that. I know you can basically just grab the top of the sail and pull the thing open, but it's always more fun to use the key. So with these are going to be his feet. So joint in the back, you just kaboom. Just pull that down, and that's what you've got. It covers up his feet really nicely to where it actually looks like he has dragon feet. I like it. So here are your wings. The thing has, once again, it's another one of those inconsistencies with pictures. One thing, come here, stupid thing. One thing I want you to put them out here. But if you want show accuracy, you're going to want to put them here on the front. So there's a joint back there, and then you just I can't do this with one hand. Come here. Now, you take your dragon, and unlike the Zeo and the SPD things, he will actually pop in. Kind of. You won't hear an actual pop, but he will pop in. So what you can do is that you fold him up, and he'll click in like that. You'll just hear like a little click. And close the door. It will kind of bend his antennas when you do this, because, I don't know. Get your key. I want him to fall over. And then you're just going to stick the key in his back and turn. Three times the charm, literally. It looks cooler when he actually pops out, when the door opens. Okay, let's try that again. Because that was kind of disappointing. Really? There we go. Come on, do it. Kaboom. And there is Legendary Mystic Force Megazord. I honestly really like how this guy turned out. Yeah, he's the little colorfulness up here on the wings is missing. But I think it looks better this way, because it's weird having a dragon with rainbows on the tips of his wings up here. It just didn't really fit too well. These little feet parts cover up the toes just nicely to where it actually looks like dragon's claws. And the wings up here just, they look great on this guy. I don't know what it is about him, but they just look great. And the little dragon derping out of the front like that is kind of cool. He's like, yeah. That is exactly what's supposed to happen. Yeah. He doesn't really pop in. He just kind of gets stuck after a while. But I honestly like him better than the Zeo and the SPD Zords. I know a lot of people seem to think that this is the worst one. Well, when it comes to a lot of the toy reviewers I watch, a lot of people think this is the worst one. I honestly think this is the second best one. Now, obviously, it's pretty obvious what the best one is, and I'll get to that one here in a second. But it just looks good. The dragon itself is really and it doesn't look good either, because it's really kind of disproportionate. But when you put on the Megazord, it just looks great. I don't know why I'm showing you the back. There's nothing back there. But I think this is the second best looking one. Let me put it back here so you can see the entire. Ta-da! Trying to get it straight. Ta-da! There we go. I seriously do think this is the second best looking one. I just like how the wings look on him, and then the dragon feet. It really does make him look dragonish-y. So, I have to say, I'm really impressed with how this one turned out. It was the last one I got, and I'm kind of mad I saved him for the end, though, because he's actually really cool. Stay in, please. So, I do recommend him, especially if you like Mystic Force. You'll like this guy. Alright. So, he's actually a bit tricky to put back together. I'm going to show you how to put him back together first, because doing that is actually kind of difficult, to me anyway. And then I'll move on to the lion. So you just got to fold these back up to where they're like this. He's got holes in his side that you need to plug these little plugs into. What I do is that I just align the holes up, and this basically becomes his tail. And then you're just going to line this up, close the tail up, not have him fall out. Doink. Come on. Work with me, dragon. Work with me. And then just squeeze it together like that. It doesn't really stick together all that well, but it's fine. And then you just plug. And see, I try to click the wing on and the tail comes off. Putting this thing back together is a pain because it actually really stinks if it's not on the Megazord. Oops. That didn't sound good. Something popped that wasn't supposed to pop. It's the last thing you want to say when you're messing with a toy. So boom, there's your dragon again. On to the big boy. And he gets a spiffy box. I like how they tried to emulate Animaria in there. This is the box for the Red Lion from Wild Force. It's actually a really, really nice box. It's from the top. Ugh! I have to. On the side, on the back, where it shows everything. The other side, and back over here. I do, like I said, it tries to imitate Animaria, and actually on the shelf, this thing really pops out, especially with a lion in it, and it was just so tempting to pick it up and grab it off the shelf. I love the box for this guy. So, he also came with a key. This isn't the one. This is the one that came with the key, the Megazord, the Zord. Ta-da! So why is it back here instead? Well, because this is the one from the Megazord. This is the one from the key pack. Look at the face. Key pack Zord. It looks a lot better on this one. Besides that, the only difference between the two is that the sash on the Zord one is thicker. I don't know if you can really tell or not, but it is. That and the mouth on... No. Yeah, this is the Megazord one. The mouth on this one is a lot better than this one. Just looks like he's like, but this one looks a lot more like the lion visor. And I also wanted that other one in here because its sticker's not on a crooked. And once again, the one that came with the Zord logo was darker. Odd, huh? Zord key pack. So I keep the one with that came with the lion back here with me. The sash size isn't that big of a deal. Like, I really can't tell that much. So and here he is, the Red Lion. He is awesome. Really awesome. He just looks great, too. He has wheels down here, but they're kind of pathetic. He's got wheels on the bottom of his feet, and he's got little wheels on the inside of his legs. And unless you're on a really good surface, really good hard surface, they don't work very well. They're really bad. Especially if you're on carpet. Like, they just don't pop out enough, because they're on... You can kind of see here he's got little, like, stoppers on the same... They jut out just as far as the wheels do. You can kind of see them. They jet out just as far as the wheels do, so it doesn't help him roll very well. So it was kind of pointless to put them in there. he does have a weird fighting mode thing. It's basically take the bottom end of his tail, stick it on his head, and then put the little bow thing in his mouth. I don't want to do that because it's kind of dumb. So I'm just going to go right on to the big stuff. Take your Megazord. Rip his legs off. Ta-da! Zord port's up there. The first time you do this, it's gonna be odd because the joints don't exactly line up. So you kind of have to force him in there. Well, he actually went in pretty well that time. That's your Wild Force mode. That's basically it. You can give him the swords, you can put the swords in his hand. That's basically Legendary Wild Megazord. Based off of the Pegasus Megazord, or what was he called in Gal Ranger? The Gal Centaurus? Something like that. But this is Wild Force mode. Fantastic, isn't it? But wait, there's more! I'm trying to Billy Mays this up some. Take him off. Gonna get this little stubby thing. And if you know anything about Gokaiger, this thing is Wild Force and Samurai. Ta-da, ta-da, and ta-da. So what you do, and when you start to get the Samurai thing, is take this little bow thing off his back. Just throw that over here. Get out of the way. You two aren't needed anymore. Pop this off. It's basically his back legs, and you're gonna get pop these off. Take this and turn it around. Looks familiar, doesn't it? It looks just like Samurai Megazord or Shinkano's helmet, except it's a bit spoofed up. Now this is the fun part. This is the really fun part. Take off his front legs. A lot tougher than it sounds. At least for mine anyway. Come on. Ah! Gosh, sometimes I think I'm going to break this thing. I really do. Sometimes I think I'm going to break this guy. These front legs are glued into him. So you will need to put all of your muscle into taking the dang things off. And it seriously feels like you're going to break it when you pull, well, the front right leg anyway. The left one just came out just fine. Now you're going to get some kind of weird fish. And then you just pull this out. Doesn't this look familiar? Now you're just like, Urgh. So, pop his hat off. Take the swords out. Let his left arm fly completely across the room. So you're going to want something like this. Take his front legs and put them on as his new legs. Looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Pull out the little Zord Builder ports up here on his shoulders. Pink. Okay, his his right arm doesn't want to stay on. Take yellow. Get this down here and do it. Take a key. Always go with clear boy here. take the lion head, and this guy will actually clip in. See, he actually clipped in. Take your new helmet and there you have it. Legendary Samurai Megazord. Now, he can either do two things when it comes to weapons. One, you can give him this giant as crap Fire Smasher. Or, you could take his bow and plug the swords into the ends, and you'll get some really cool double-bladed sword like this. And he's falling over. But because I want to, I'm going to give him the Fire Smasher. Actually, let me put it in his other hand. It'll probably fit better. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, fine. Let's move this up a little bit. No, I can't do that. Crap. Oh, whatever. Ta-da! Got the Fire Smasher in his hand. Really can't move his arm up because the little shoulder thing gets in the way of this. So he really can't move his arm up when he's in this form. But it looks awesome. Now granted, it's not show accurate because he's supposed to have little drop down panels on his shoulders and arms that reveal the origami symbols, and then the fire symbol is supposed to be in his mouth. But with what you have with the Zord builder system that they have implemented into this, it looks fine. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people that are like, oh, it's not correct. Well, shut up. If you don't like this, buy Go-Kaio. Just be quiet. I'm getting sick of you people. As soon as you see something from Bandai America, oh, the Japanese one's better. People make me sick sometimes. But honestly, this thing is amazing. It looks great. The lion head just looks awesome sitting out of him. I'll admit, though, the feet and the legs coming out of his shoulders really does look weird. And I wish that these symbols down here were a bit bigger. Like maybe cover the entire... Because these three are huge. You can kind of see the fire one down there. But these two are just little tiny things. I wish these two were bigger. This is my only problem with this form, is that these are way too small. But aside from that, this thing looks A+. Really A+. So if you like Wild Force and or Samurai, get this guy. Get him. I don't care if he had this legendary Megazord, get him. If you're even considering getting the legendary Megazord, I would recommend getting him just for this form. This is the best one, hands down. It's got two forms. The lion itself, when he's standing there in lion form, just looks really nice. And it just has so much functionality. It has two forms that you can put this thing into. And this form right here just looks fantastic. So he's easily he's the easiest one to recommend to get if you're considering buying the Megazord. Have it and you don't know which ones to get. But if you're buying all of them, of course you're going to get him anyway. But he's the most expensive, but he's worth it. He is worth it. And his wheels are still up there. Oh yeah, he does have, and the wheels are on the bottom now, so you can just go whee, but it doesn't work very well. Oh well. So yeah, here is Samurai. I like him. I say buy him now. So that's all for the Megazord stuff for now. Ninja Storm RPMs add-ons will be coming later, and then we have Q-Rex, which I'm assuming is what they're still going to be calling it, even though I've heard a couple things since then. So I'll be looking at those when we get them. I've got one more video I need to do tonight. But until then, see you guys.